This could be huge. Manages to find them. Well, usually what would be about the halfway point of the show, we are just getting started. One match down, 3 to play out. You feel the rhythm. We are coming up to our next matchup very, very shortly. Rhythm versus Elevate, who definitely need to win this one because they lost to Alifo last Playday, Guz, and if they don't want to continue their slide down the standings, they must win this matchup.
Yeah, it is a must win. You might notice a bit of a change. I've taken my glasses off. I wear them when I feel smart, and I did get the last prediction wrong, so I don't feel smart anymore. But the good thing is, we all predicted the same winner for the next 3 matches because we're expecting them to be pretty one-sided.
Yeah, you say that, but I'm sure at least one of the remaining 3 matchups should throw a curveball. It could very well be this one. Rhythm themselves, they lost to Bliss last week in Playday number 4, but prior to that, they did beat out Wildcard and Order in the 2 previous Playdays. So they are a team that can cause upsets, and at their very, very best, they are a team you do not want to take lightly.
Yeah, and one player in particular that's been showing up so far this season is, in fact, Leb. You know, he might be a little bit old, a little bit of a boomer, some might say, but he's going 28 and 20, and 15 of those kills are actually trades. So the man's been popping off, and Novakes as well, actually, been having a really good season so far as well. I feel like we've been saying his name quite a lot. Yeah, a lot of these names, actually. Yeah, pretty solid. Good lineup.
Cool. Yeah, all of them.
A lot of potential. A lot of potential. Honestly, this team, I feel like last year we repeated this theme quite a lot, but if Rhythm get going and actually continue to improve, they could be a real threat.
Well, as it stands right now, they're tied 5 points with Rufflecopter and Knights, although Rufflecopter just finished their game. So, you know, they are firmly in the middle of the pack, even though they're right now second last with LFO. They've actually got a bit of a gap to LFO, and we'll see if they can extend that gap and continue to push up the standings. Their opponents, though, for tonight, the ever inconsistent Elevate. Hey, it's a word that continues to just follow these guys around, guys. I hate to say it. We've had a couple of moments where we're like, are they the real deal? Are they actually going to find some consistency? Win matches they should be winning? And they always just have a bit of a, stumble. They have a bit of a fall, if you will. Last week, of course, they lost to LFO 7-4 as well.
Yeah, that result is pretty eye-catching, I think is probably the best way to describe it. But that said, they actually are historically a tough opponent for Elevate. So I'd pin it down as a little bit of an asterisk. If that form does continue, it's a little bit concerning. But I do feel like that was a one-off, and we're not expecting that to be repeated. Again, if we want to hone in, though, on a specific player, Worthy, probably the best player in the league so far, going 39 and 18 on Ace Malusi. So he's been popping off, and honestly, he hasn't been in the best form as of late. He's a fantastic player, don't get me wrong, but it feels like with this roster change and Elevate just feeling a little bit rejuvenated, that he's been able to find his own, find his form, and he's looking pretty good.
And look, you're probably right. I mean, maybe it just comes down to sort of the matchup with LFO. A lot of teams have issues sometimes with LFO being a bit of a tricky team to sort of prep for, or the way that they sort of play. And look, maybe they just sort of bounce back and get a expected win over Rhythm, like you kind of, expect them to do. But all I'm saying is, and all I'm trying to set the storyline here is, if they do lose this, Elevate, which, I mean, at the moment they're in second place, right? Because we take the Blizz result. You lose this, and then let's say teams directly below them, Order, Wildcard, Knights, they all start getting wins. Suddenly you follow Rufflecopter and you go from like 1st to 5th in like one play day. That's how bad it could go. Let's go and have a look at the map vetoes for this matchup as we are going to go to Villa. I thought we were going to Clubhouse for a second. I don't know why my brain just looked at Clubhouse and thought that's the end of it. But we are going to Villa. We haven't been to Villa for quite some time. It hasn't been a popular map in OCN. We've only seen it once prior this season so far, and it was 50-50. 7 attacker wins, 7 defender wins. Don't know how that happens. Where's the 8th round? I'm
happy to see some variation. Oh, no, it could be. No, it doesn't have to be 8 rounds. What are you on about?
Oh yeah, I don't know what I'm on about. Don't listen to me. I was like, what? Wait, I looked at it as if it was like OT or something.
Jesus
Christ. This is what you got to work
with. It's already been a long night, hasn't it?
Hey, it's 9 o'clock.
Villa? Hey, you should be talking. You're on gamer hours all the time anyway, so this is nothing for you, and probably for me as well. But Villa should be a fun map. We haven't seen a whole lot of play of it, as you mentioned, and it's not Oregon, so I'm excited.
Well, certainly not Oregon. It's not Clubhouse either. It's Villa. And for Rhythm, do they feel the rhythm? That's the question, guys, because while they're second last at the moment, season-defining match, they've got Knights after this. I mean, that's going to be a particularly tough one. And then their final play day will be against the other Cellar Dweller in LFO. So a bit of a mixed bag for their final two play days. Elevate's a team, though, that offers them an opportunity. If Rhythm play at their best and if Elevate are 5 or 10% off, there's a chance here at a win.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a fair chance. I have it penned in that it's unlikely we'll see Rhythm take 3 points tonight, but there is a decent chance they could stretch it to OT, particularly if Elevate haven't shaken off the form that they had against LFO. So we'll have to see how that plays out. That's Rospan to kick things off, so it's likely we're going to see quite a bit of Habana play on the board, maybe a little bit of Thermite as well. Cheeky Maverick could also be in play if required. Jumping across to the defense, though, we're going to see Mirror taken off the board first here by Rhythm, deny some of that intel gathering, and a lot of these sites do rely or can rely on a Mirror to be played. Of course, that won't be the case now. And Valkyrie taken off by Elevate.
Stock standard?
Yeah, I'd say so. Maybe Ace could be a little bit of a wild card in the sense that we often see a hard breach ban, but it's not always the Ace, but he's so incredibly powerful, even after the couple of nerfs that he has received, that it's definitely not that wild.
No, Wildcard's playing later tonight, man.
That was a really bad joke. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
So Rhythm on the attack, Elevate on the defense first up. AVG. Aviator Games. 6 picks onto the Aruni for Didge, which I don't mind that here on Villa. A lot of doorways that you can sort of try and cut off while still keeping the sightlines available.
Attackers need to locate and defuse,
especially in games room as well.
There is one thing I like to see, and it's Fisho. Shotgun smoke, because we see the Snap Fitness community vote. Have a look at that. 68% in favor of Elevate. So that's pretty fair.
I would even say maybe 65-35 would actually be closer to the mark. I think Rhythm themselves as a team this season.
Wait. 65-30. It's like 3% difference.
Yeah.
That's not.
But it's.
Is it really? Wow. Are we playing? Oh my. Come on, Xenox.
Look, I'm just trying to point out that the Rhythm themselves, right? Like, yes, they're on 5 points. They're only on a -2 round differential. Like, it's really not that bad. Like, they are one good result away. Like, if they get a regular win, which means all 3 points here against Elevate, they shoot up to 8 points, which would, as the standings stand at the moment, put them in the top 4. Like, so they're not as far away as I think some might believe. And honest, if I'm going to be completely honest, I'm also surprised that all of the panelists predicted Elevate for this matchup. This is the perfect game for someone like, you know, Rob doesn't know anything Monday to have voted Rhythm.
Yeah. I have to see how things play out. Could, of course, be our second overtime of the night. If you're just joining us, Bliss just won Clubhouse 8-6. That was a decent matchup against Ruffle. Oda seemed pretty happy, but enough about Oda. He's gotten his time in the limelight, and now it's time to see these two teams battle it out. Not really sure what Rhythm are going for here. It feels like they're going for a bedroom sweep now. Maybe they're rotating around towards Study. We see Leb on 90 window trying to pressure the player holding that pillar. God Legion, meanwhile, does find the first. That's a Zofia taken off the board, and I think that may have been an entry downstairs.
This early kill for Elevate gives them the advantage, although just caught by Supremacist on the Ash. God Legion goes down, so it's 1-for-1 there. Even trade. Definitely feel like Elevate's in a better position right now. Not really sensing overwhelming pressure from Rhythm onto the site here. Not just yet anyway. Still a minute left, a lot of time. Not exactly a rush for Rhythm. We'll need to get a move on. Cool. Just down below, Nevaix with the diffuser in hand. Might be set up for an Aviator's plant.
Nova gets lit up. Still playing that bulk position. Needs to be careful of Vast. Ready and waiting on the swing. Fast himself has been looking quite sharp in the last few play days, and on the Jaeger, you'd expect him to do so again. Does miss the X-Kairos there on bar, so the player in that position will now be pressured from that line of sight, as Leb gets pressured and put down there at 90, leaving it in the 3-on-4 for the execute.
That was a good swing out. Premises with a double. Vast under pressure now. Multiple sight lines have been opened up. The trades just keep flowing though in the kill feed. We're down to 2 versus 2. Didge usually finding himself in this late game position where he's got quite a bit to do. Nice slow swing from Ghoul, and it is down to Digital, and Bolton comes up big.
Oh, Didge. As he said, he's found himself in so many clutches already this year. I'd be willing to bet he's been in the most 1vx situations of any player in the region. And he steps up on that occasion, found a critical pick inside of Study, then hit a very nice refrag to close things out. Elevate will take the first round, but that was close. That was really well played there from Rhythm. They did a lot of the jobs that they needed to. They just fell short.
Considering they didn't have much time at the end of the round as well, right? Like they set themselves up in the last 45 seconds. It felt like that's where they did most of the damage. They found a couple of good trades, got close to the site. Had they been able to establish more presence, say an extra 30 seconds earlier, I think they'd maybe even win that round. So you're right, full credit to Rhythm. Just falls short of the mark. Credit to Elevate though as well for being able to clutch up, especially from Digi's perspective. Just credit to everyone, guys. I mean, everyone's a winner really at the end of the day. No one loses, right? There's no bad players. It's just no negativity. It's just all positivity.
It's all sunshine and rainbows down under. Oceanic Nationals. You love to give everyone a go. That's why you're casting.
Everyone gets a ribbon at the end of the season, right? Doesn't matter if you're 8th, doesn't matter if you're 1st. Everyone gets a ribbon.
Well, it is only the top 5 that make playoffs, though. That's where you really want to be.
5 seconds remaining.
Tell you what, I am quite excited for playoffs. Gauntlet format, if I'm not wrong. Should be pretty spicy.
You'd hate to be in the bottom 3 and miss out.
Yeah, would not be ideal. Will one of these teams be in that bottom 3 though? That's the question mark. I'd say Rhythm most at risk.
As it stands, they are in the bottom 3, but a win here, even an overtime win, would still get them out of the bottom 3. And that's sort of the nature of it, right? Whenever I look at the standings, I always think top 4. I'm a footy guy, so top 4 is usually, a good place to be, and it is. But in this case, obviously, it's top 5. Whether you're 5th, 4th, doesn't really matter. As Digital, not done. After he's clutched in the first round, he gets the opening frag at the second round. It's all about that top 5, and how you get there is what matters the most. Leb.
Crouch walking entry. Always a little bit scary. I think it was God Legion scurrying up.
He's getting droned by Ghoul.
Stairs. Yeah. Could be able to make a play here, but I don't think there's anyone down below. Oh, God Legion actually. Basement.
No, he's even further below. They can afford that though, right? Because it's a 4 versus 5. So if God Legion's all the way down in basement, it still just means at least elsewhere on the map, it's a 4 versus 4. So God Legion's just sort of like the man that can just do whatever he wants here. He's almost playing the Cynic's role from last round.
Drax needs to be careful here. The flank watch, I assume, hasn't been established. Good does place one over towards the sheets, or I think that was. So that covers the south. And an edge up elsewhere has been activated. God Legion still does pose a threat. There is a barricade, though, towards the pantry, which will need to be contended with, but he should be able to make contact with that. Drax now quite far away, won't be able to hear. Could find himself in a pinch.
2 quick kills, though, for Rhythm as they push into Astro. And this is now where God Legion doesn't have that freedom anymore. If I said before he had that freedom to sort of play that position and to play the way he was, now he's got to change it up and get a little bit more aggressive, push a bit quicker, get into a spot. Nice little swing up. He's going to get that kill, pushing up backstairs, gets Drax, throws up the C4. Is that successful? No, falls short of the mark. I think there was a player repelling outside the window as well to his left. So very aggressive position to be in. Nova. Noveix going to get one. Or he gets pushed on by Noveix, and he's going to come up big. C4 not going to find the mark onto Ghoul. Ghoul stays alive. Now down to a 2 versus 1. God Legion, who has been everywhere and back on this map so far in this second round. Now needs to win the 1 versus 2.
10 seconds to go. Attackers
A Rooney gate.
activating the diffuser.
He'll get close to that. It'll automatically retreat itself, so his position will be known to the attack if they're watching, and they are. If he finds Leb here, it might be winnable, as he's low on HP. But he doesn't. School the long angle through the little crack between the door frame and the shield will yield him a kill. Oh, yep. Nice client-side window debris. But that's right. Good little kill to end things off, and there we go. One apiece.
We didn't see the main entry, but well, a lot of the work done for Rhythm was pushing in through Astro, getting those 2 early kills, gave them that advantage. God Legion did get 1. Didn't elect to continue to push up from behind. He fell back, and credit to Rhythm, they continued to push forward towards site, winning their duels, and just overwhelming Elevate in the end. They take that second round. And we head over to Kitchen and Dining for round number 3.
Attackers need
In what very well could be a match that just goes back and forth the whole way through. It would not surprise me if Rhythm are up for this, which from the first 2 rounds looks like they are. Would not surprise me at all to see Elevate give a few rounds over to Rhythm by just making some costly mistakes. It's what they do. Unfortunately, it's still part of their game.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Nomad being, oh sorry, Kaid rather being brought to the board here from Worthy, and he's using that Electro Claw spot on the cupboard inside of the A bomb site to electrify the pantry wall, and that's a strategy that I vividly remember being used in like 6 Masters finals last year, so that's a bit of an OG strat. I think he also did place one on the roof below to
Attackers are
get
heading out to defuse a bomb.
the triple wall. There, he did. Thanks, Marshall, on the obs. Appreciate a little zoom in there. So good work there from Worthy in the util department, trying to deny some of these walls from being opened. And of course, that triple wall extension above would suggest that players will locate above, take refuge, try and slow down the attackers. Rhythm likely will try and find Vert. That said, though, their spawn positions suggesting maybe a horizontal take. Sometimes teams do take living across. That is a viable approach.
Still think it'd be probably best to go top down though, right? Especially with the Vigil roaming around. See how it plays out. Drex was, I think it was either round 1 or round 2 was gone pretty quickly. So far 0 and 2 on the Zephyr. Not ideal. Pulse through Digital just finds a heartbeat. Good start for Dig as well. 3-0-1, and one of those being a clutch round.
Supremacist using his Ash charges to try and clear the Banshees, which have conveniently been pinged by his team. 10 players still up in the server, and it does look like Rhythm are fully committing to the horizontal take. No real pressure above, so a lot of that setup null and void here for Elevators. Fisher is actually getting pressed already out of sheets. I like that angle there from the Vakes, using the X-Kairos to create some footholds. That means that a player on the defense can't really hold there, and now Drex, with that drone assistance, might be able to claim it.
Only 4 drones left as well, so got to make use of this as he does get pushed in, does get droned in. Fisher guy is going to be eliminated. Vast on that Vigil, so not above, but is below in basement in the cellar at the moment. Now going to start to push up back over to Kitchen Dining. Drex on site though, in Dining at the moment. Supremacist close by. Drex is going to be so careful as he sort of just has to scope this out. Oh, he sees surely the back there of Digital and does get the kill. Expected to push, didn't come from Vast though. And the Vax can get the plant down. 3 versus 3, 40 seconds left in the round, and it is going to be a retake. Supremacist a bit slow there on the reaction. Fortunately, the Vax was there to cover. 2 versus 2.
Both players now pushing back in towards Laundry. Could be quite risky, but on the flip side, they can also trade one another out. Worthy and Fast. They need to get this timing down pat. Swing it at the right time, or at least pressure the location at the same time for the trade. Worthy lit up. Fast taken down. Drex and Nova, they're holding strong in the post plant. I don't think they can lose it from here. A player goes prone. Worthy needs to find them both, but he can't find either. Rhythm, take the round.
Well, in all fairness, I said about Drax on the Zephyr was 0 and 2, and in one quick round picks up 4 kills. A nice cheeky quad for Drax to get on the board. And for Rhythm, 2 round wins now in a row. They're looking good. Winning their shots and just overall able to get close to sight pretty comfortably. Not seeing anything too crazy from Elevate. And in saying that, it's not as if Elevate haven't had players roaming around as well, guys. Like, we've seen it in almost every single round. They've had at least one player sweeping below in basement, for instance, right? So, like, and yet they're just never finding anything. We're never seeing Elevate really get off and find a nice early pick from a roamer.
The one thing that really stood out to me in that last round was the fact that, I believe it was Drex on the Zephyr, right? Just sending it literally in towards sight, and just no one contesting him, finds a pick. And in fact, then Nova came along with the kit and just straight up landed it. And Elevate made a quick flick around, all in pretty ordinary positions to deny that. The only real player that could have had an impact was God Legion there inside of China, but he was shut down. The angles went created. And, Rhythm really played that quite well. I love a good horizontal take. It seems almost obvious that you should be taking that site from above, but a nice little switch up there did seem to catch Elevate off guard.
Attackers dropped the diffuser. Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Back over to Aviator Games, which was won by
What is
Elevate.
that?
Run out from Worthy, catches Supremacist. Hey, I mentioned it. I mentioned it at the start of this round. I said Elevate haven't been able to get these early picks, and Worthy does just that. Not quite the conventional approach to it, but hey, it works.
Well, why not go for it when you're one of the top fraggers in the league at the moment? Confidence flows through him. MX4 in hand, that gun. I'm telling ya, might not statistically be the best, but with that fire rate, it really does hit hard.
Hard and fast as well. 5 kills now for Worthy. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue for Rhythm. Don't sense it'll deter them too much. They've looked the goods. They've typically been able to win a lot of their fights pushing onto site as well. So if you kind of give them that advantage in this round, they should be able to bring this back from 4-5 down to, say, like a 3 versus 3 later in the round. And then from that point, it's theirs to take.
My air jab is deployed.
11 Drex.
Drex, yeah.
They're trying to take 90 here. Nova as well in the window. Should be able to launch some X-Kairos from that position if he wants to open up Bolt, or maybe even a longer angle. The classical hole in towards the back of Bar. Drex getting lit up from the drone hole. Looks a bit disorientated as he sends out those concussions. Cool now alongside with that diffuser in hand, but they don't really have an entry in towards the site. They haven't worked the Bolt too much. Maybe they'll rotate Study and pressure some of the players in towards B, but so far this round looking a lot more convincing from Elevate in the mid-round.
You say that, but I feel like it's a pretty similar approach to what we saw from them earlier. The only difference is they actually got the early pick this time and therefore haven't got anyone else roaming around. Oh, they actually had a 5v4 advantage in one of the rounds, and God Legion was roaming down in basement with that advantage. So this time the only difference is they've actually got all 5 on site. So they're not getting too greedy. They're going to just take their advantage, sit on site, play 20-second meta, and see how they come out ahead of X.
15 seconds to go.
And Flash is going to get stopped.
10 seconds to go.
Fast knows he's coming in as well, so this should be an easy kill for Fast. Never mind, take it back.
Oh.
Nice second shot as well from the Vaix.
Attackers are activating.
The Fusic goes down. The Vaix and Ghoul versus God Legion and Digital in a 2 versus 2. It felt like this was Elevate's round, and it's kind of flipped on its head here.
Attackers need to protect the diffuser.
God Legion main, Digital on the kit. Again, it really comes down to timing. Digital can bait it out, but Novaix is in a position to swing as he lights up the other defender at the top of the stairs.
Oh,
Digital.
oh no!
Oh, it's a team kill in the end, so it doesn't even
no!
matter. And Nova goes nuclear in this round. I'd take the 4K, sure. That one onto Dig didn't count, but hey, it was close enough.
Oh, you got to take credit for that one, surely, though, guys. Surely.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. That's what casters are meant to do. I agree with you. Well, you said it was a better round from Elevate. It started off with a nice run out from Worthy. It was cheeky. It didn't quite get to that 3-3 like I said it would, but it did get to 2-2, close enough. And as I said, Rhythm have just been better. Once they're pushing onto site, they're winning their ones. They're peaking better. They're hitting their shots better. Might sound like the basics, but that's exactly what it is. Rhythm are just playing the basics better right now. I did think it was much more conventional from Elevate that once they got their advantage, especially with 20 seconds left, all 5 on site, have everything covered. I don't think there was anything wrong with that. I just think Rhythm just played better.
Yeah, it was a bit of a sticky situation that Elevate found themselves in. It was a 2v2 plant. Arguably, they didn't have the greatest positioning. I think they had one player over towards top red, the other in vault. It was a little bit icky considering Nova had them both covered from study off the back of a really nice 2k. I think credit really just needs to be given to Novaix in that late round. It was really well played from him. He hit the shots that mattered and looking strong so far. Going 7 and 2. Yeah. On the Habana roll as well, one that typically doesn't see a whole lot of frags, is quite nutty. And Elevate, they need to get thinking quick, smart, and shut him down.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Well, if they don't fix this quick, smart, this match is going to get away from them. And then, I hate to say it, but then it could be the season getting away from them as well. You know, I think it was about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, whenever we were on here last. And after having seen a couple of the early results, guys, we felt as if this was Elevate's season, that they could actually finish in first place. And if not first, at least top 2 was almost expected with the way that the Knights have floundered and wildcards issues, etc. We felt as if it was going to be the Elevate and Order season. And suddenly, Elevate losing Playday 4. If they lose Playday 5, then they're out of the top 4.
Drex again has found himself in a pretty decent position early onto the round, uncontested here from Elevate, who seemingly haven't extended much over towards the south side. So it's almost like them welcoming Rhythm to say hello at the top of red, maybe push airlock as well. In fact, there's already 4 players stacked here. They could go early.
Yeah, it's going to be a rush through. They shut down the Sawyer gate. Fisher got up close. Had been on 0 kills prior to this one. The quad up close on the smoke. Fast will finish off Drex. Flawless round, mostly thanks to Fisher Guy, who stops that blitz attack from Rhythm.
Honestly, name a more iconic duo than Fisher lying down in a corner with the shotgun and finding that many kills in a round. Absolutely insane. I hope we get a replay of that. That was crazy, and he almost got the ace. He just got stripped of it. So he was lying down. Did they not
drone him out?
No, I don't think they really had the time. They were just like, hey, let's send it. They thought it was clear. It was an off-meta position being held there from Fisho. Really difficult to see him tucked in behind that chair. And he reaps the rewards. Well played.
I like how you said they didn't have time when there was like a minute and a half in the round. I mean, maybe they didn't have time based on their...
On their strategy, they didn't have time.
Yeah, based on their strategy, didn't have time. But yeah, good round from Fisher Guy. I'm so glad I didn't say anything now, but at the start of that round, I was actually going to say one of the players I'm surprised hasn't got more involved has been Fisher Guy, because a lot of these rounds have come down to the latter stages, and that's where you want your smoke doing their best work, right? Denying time with those gas canisters and just generally being in those deeper positions to be able to get frags onto the entry attacking players. But he had 0 kills prior to that round. He then picks up a quad, and suddenly he's looking much better at 4, 3, and 4 rather than 0 and 4.
10 seconds remaining.
Hi. Got on Elevate. They're making up for some of the lost time we got in the first matchup. So let's just keep speeding through these rounds. maybe on the attack we'll see Elevate getting aggressive themselves. But no, that was a treat to watch. Fisho has been around for a long, long time, and those types of plays, they are not isolated. They are quite frequent, or as frequent as those plays can come. So expect to see that more throughout the rest of the year, and I'm sure he'll be happy actually with how he's been integrating with this roster. It's important to remember that he's only literally played a couple of games, 4 games at least in OCN with this roster. So
Yeah, and that's a good point to bring up because we, in the preseason, before we'd started OCN, before we'd started APAC, that was sort of the thought process with Elevate. Would they need time to gel? Would they need time to, formalize the roster? And they kind of shot out of the blocks, so that surprised us. And we thought, okay, maybe just the change alone and all of that would just be so good that they don't even need to, spend time to blend in. But over the last week or so, they have slowed down a bit. They have cooled off. And this is a testing match for them now. Rhythm are giving them their absolute best, and Elevate need to respond, and it is up to them to respond. So far, they have in that previous round. If they can close out the half 3-3, to look good. Supremacist, though, winning that fight against Vast. He's a good player, Supremacist. Got a good future ahead of him.
It's the second time as well now Vast holding that position on the AVG defense has been shut down by an aggressive swing, so that is quite unfortunate for him, but such is the meta in the game at the moment. If you swing at that sort of range, you're likely to win. It encourages confident play, aggressive play, and that's what Rhythm have been bringing to the board so far in this first half, looking to try and gain a 4-2 lead. They get control of the top of the main stairs. They cross without it being seen, and Ghoul finds yet another kill. It's Fisho guy. He got a 4K in the last round, but no impact here in round number 6. But it's a flank from Worthy. The best player, I would say, in terms of stats so far this season. He'll need to go big here to give Elevate a chance.
Got a good position to do so as well. Digital on site, obviously under a bit of pressure. God Legion and Vault. I mean, they're still kind of well set up here, Elevate. 4 versus 3 is not impossible. 45 seconds left on the clock. But as you said, it's up to Worthy to really find something here down that hallway. There's only one drone left, by the way, for 40 seconds left. But considering it's Aviator Games, it just is pretty well-known positions. They know there's going to be one in Vault, one on site, and they also have the information on Worthy from that prior kill onto Leb. 25 seconds left, though. Can Rhythm close out this half? 4-2. Or are we going into the half all tied up? Navex has been taken down. Drex winning the fight against Worthy. It's a big fight to win. C4 goes out from Gold Legion, but he goes down before anything can happen. So does Digital. Can you feel the rhythm?
Ooh, the rhythm. It's flowing at the moment. Hashtag feel the rhythm in the chat. Show your support. 4-2 lead as we enter the second half here on Villa. What are we looking at, Xenox, in terms of defense win rate? Should this be a win for Rhythm in the end, or how are we feeling?
All right, yeah, haha, funny.
What do you mean? I genuinely want to know, what's the defensive win rate of Villa?
For what,
Oh, it's
OCN?
Yeah, it was 7-7, right? Or 8-8.
50%, mate, 50%.
Yeah, there we go.
You know what that means? It can go either way, but it also means Rhythm off to a good start from their attack.
10 seconds to insertion.
But in saying that, we obviously now need to see
5 seconds to insertion.
their defense. I think sometimes statistics get over-glorified.
Is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
I hope if you're listening, Dev, close your ears here. But, they don't mean everything.
Yeah, for sure.
At the end of the day, it comes down to the matchups as well, the maps itself, whether or not teams are proficient on it, how much have they really played it, how much time have they spent practicing it, have they got game plans coming in. But just at the end of the day, it also comes down to the matchup. Like you could take the most defensive sided map in the world, but if it's wildcard versus if it's Knights versus the caster stack or whatever, we ain't gonna win anything.
Speak for yourself. I don't know. I should be Diamond. But anyway, Gold
No, you're
Legion.
not.
Getting aggressive inside. A Bedroom Supremacist. It's a C4
Supremacist.
pick.
I'm telling you,
And
this
it's
guy's
Worthy
nuts.
off the board as well. 4 members left of Elevate to try and scrap something back. They're yet to find a refrag, but they do now. It's Fisho to step up, and Noveix taken down.
I feel like almost every player in this lobby at the moment has had an impact play, except maybe Leb.
Yeah, I talked him up before. I cursed him. We have
I
a bad
know.
history. We have a bad and long history of me cursing him and his team. So let's not get into that.
4 versus 4. First attacking round for Elevate. I wouldn't go as far to say must-win round, but a 5-2 scoreline does not look good. They will have to claw themselves back. Oh, look at that cheeky goal just sitting in the corner, taken out by Vasto. He's too good for that. Advantage Elevate once again. Plenty of time left, of course, for this attack as well. Looking good.
Map sweeps seem to be the flavor of the day.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
As Elevate with the man advantage can go for that play. Leb, though, he's just below. He has a C4 in the pocket.
Attackers recovered the
Rhythm have the intel that he could be on for a play, but Valk, of course, was banned out. No Echo in play either. So I don't know if that intelligence will be easy to come by. There's a bulletproof camera, I'm not exactly sure where. But Leb could just probe below, play for the default. Might be the play if Elevate don't have a whole lot of time to recover.
bomb located by attackers.
Fisher guy, talk about just making an impact after a slow start. He's now got 6 kills in what feels like the last 2 rounds. Trax just taking a large chunk of damage.
Attackers have
Fortunately gets swung and pushed on by Digital as well, and Elevate too clean in the end.
Yeah, we saw a lot of investment in the utility department there from Rhythm. We saw even a shield and reinforcements inside of Astro. But they didn't really pay off, and then it did seem to leave the site a little bit weakened, and Elevate pounced on that opportunity, collapsed it, and there was not much of a response. Rhythm will have to lick their wounds, electing to go over to Trophy and Stat.
The Lion. See it every now and then on Villa. It's not exactly uncommon.
defenders
Obviously,
protect
it's
the
pretty
bomb
common to see
by attackers.
players roaming below, moving around. Also just for entry pushes. I like a good lane. I think it's slightly underrated. There's just a
But
lot
you
of
like,
maps
but
where
you
it's
like
just...
playing line because you just click a button.
Well,
So you
I
gotta
get
do-
told, I just get told from Dev, press the button, and then I press the button, and then Dev goes in and gets a 3K, so it works
Oh
out
yeah,
well.
I'm sure Worthy will probably be in the server, and it'll be, I would assume, Fisho telling him when to press the button. Maybe Vast. I think they both show calls less IGL when required. So.
Yeah, maybe.
10 seconds to insertion.
Big round window for Elevate,
5
that
seconds.
previous one. Just to not let that scoreboard blow out. 4-3, looks nice. They're right in this.
Objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
From what we can kind of tell just from the 7 rounds that we've seen played thus far, attack is sided maybe. Definitely at this current stage, it's shaping up that way. And there hasn't really been a lot of vert play either from the attacking teams. As you've kind of pointed out a lot of times, it's been very horizontal.
Yeah, early positioning from Elevate here suggesting they'll probably go above. They want to try and take control of laundry and then transition that towards a default plant. That's probably what they'll need to do. You cast your mind back to the Rhythm attack. They all spawned basically on the exact opposite of the map and approached it long ways.
That's a good little rhyme. Cast your mind back to the Rhythm attack. Is that
As a
intentional?
poet, and I didn't even know it.
That was on purpose.
I don't know about that. You know what was on purpose? Worthy's 2 early E1Ds, neither of which net a kill. So not sure exactly what that's being used to clear. I'm sure there's definitely a sound reason for it.
It actually got the tag onto Supremacist though with the E1D, which is going to allow the
Attackers have located
kill
a
onto
bomb.
Supremacist. So the Lion impact. Can you believe it, Guz? It's going to net a kill.
Supremacist
Surely.
hasn't been confirmed yet though, so he can lie down and call out for his team. Never mind. Digital
Oh, for sure.
Fisho gets traded though. A good double there from Didge, and it's now Leb and Ghoul left to clutch up.
No more E1Ds from Worthy. Lab just going to push up pantry stairs. Checks behind. How much information though available here for Rhythm, especially in a 2 versus 4. They do have the. Oh, I was gonna say. I was literally about to say they do have the kit, but Tidge just swipes it and just says yoink and makes a run for it for Elevate. They've now got Diffuser back in hand into 4 versus 2. The round is shaping up to be going quite nicely for Elevate and tying things up 4-4. Should be on the cards.
Led being followed, but gets met at the top of the stairs anyway by God Legion. Now it's cool in the 1-on-4. Oh! Not bad there. On to Worthy and got the down, but traded. And Elevate will claim the round.
Attack, attack, attack has been the play for Villa from both teams. It was a 4-2 half for Rhythm on their attack, and so far the first 2 rounds for Elevate on their attack have gone their way as well. Aviator Games, I believe, was the fruitful site defensively for Elevate. We'll see if that can be the case for Rhythm, but so far unsuccessful on their defense entirely. Supremacist on the Rooney. Keeping my eye on him, who has been really in the thick of things this matchup for Rhythm. 4-4. How quickly things can change going into the half. It was all Rhythm. Felt like they were right on top of this match, and then a quick switch of the half and Elevate a bit back.
How's the Rhythm feeling now? Is it starting to die out a little bit? Is there still a faint pulse?
I have no idea. It's hard to say. We've only seen 2 rounds, but if the first half was anything to go by, you kind of expect Elevate to do well on the attack. It essentially means that it's up to Rhythm now to grab a round or 2. In this case, they definitely need 2 at least to force OT.
5 seconds to insertion.
It's not impossible.
Can you see just how big the extension is here from Rhythm? Remember last time it was very heavy inside of Astro, but it looks like this time they've reeled it in a little bit. They've extended a little bit outside of bar towards the top of ground stairs. They've also put a Syria gate at stat. Want a trophy as well to maybe slow that down, but Elevate, if they've got a pre-place or at least drone this out effectively on the entry, it should be a quick take. I wouldn't be surprised if with, let's say, a minute 45 to go, they have a lot of room to work with and can try and take 90.
God, Legion's just going to get droned through Master Bathroom into Astro. Stock standard at the moment.
Drone's up and running.
Don't mind the Lion pick again here. We saw that it was successful in the previous round, catching Supremacist. It was just sort of strafing for that split second due to being pushed on. It just adds that extra layer of pressure when the attacking team is pushing onto a player or onto a site. It's also a little bit of peace of mind as well, just at least for that small amount of time, no one's moving.
At 1 minute 45 checkpoint has passed. Elevate not doing a terrible job here, as fast down below might be able to put utility or players from below using lifelines. Keeping in mind there is a player at the top of red. Digital might be in a position to shut that down, or Fisher on the swing. God Legion as well pressuring from below, but it is Ghoul to get the first. That's Fisher taken off the board. God Legion turns it to a 4-on-4. Doesn't win the swing. Onto the stairs. It's Drex for a double, leaving it in a 3-on-2. Oh, Worthy.
Oh, Worthy, come on, buddy, come on. It's not going to bite you. Does have 1 EE1D remaining for Worthy, and I would imagine should be used in conjunction with Digital pushing in.
Bomb located by attackers.
40 seconds left. Gonna elect to go for it now. Dig does push in with the E1D. 2 versus 2 now. That's used perfectly in the end from Worthy and Digital. It's like the Dev and Xenox rank stack combination, but in competitive. It's glorious to see. 20 seconds left. Ghoul in vault. You would think from this position should be able to shut this down. This plant is going to be stopped by Drex. And now Digital 1 versus 2. 10 seconds left. Not in a position to get the diffuser. We'll just push to the player in vault. Swings in, gets the kill. No time left though. Well, Ditch is having a big game, but Rhythm will stop the attack and edge closer to that match point.
Yeah, the frustrating thing was there at the very end, we saw Didge actually throw out a drone. So if they didn't have one watching the top of the main stairs or brown stairs, whatever you want to call them, probably should have taken the moment there to set that drone up for his team. They probably could have called out that flank. Maybe they did, because they did fall off the plant.
Yeah.
So there is a chance they actually did have the intel and they just unfortunately couldn't play off it. It was a bit of an awkward position, but either way, it was a really nice flank there late. Rhythm, they're able to take the round, and getting 5 rounds, being the first to 5 is so much more critical with the new scoring system, because it means effectively you're on 1 match point in a sense. Because if you win the next round, of course, you secure at least 1. So
It's like a personal match point.
yeah.
Attackers
You win this round for Rhythm, you at least secure 1 point, which, you know, it might not seem like a lot, but it's the difference between, like, at least in the case right now, it's the difference between being below Knights or being above Knights, and also being tied with Rafflecopter, which would actually get you out of the bottom 3. So if Rhythm can at least secure overtime, but then if they lose overtime, they're still out of the bottom 3. So that's how important it is. Or you could just win this and get all 3 points, jump up to 8 points, which, can you believe it, would put them 3rd right now from 2nd last. And another fun fact, they're the only team that has yet to get a regular time win this season.
Can they do it? That's the question. They head over towards trophy stat. Drex on the roam. Common position for the Pulse to play. He can relay intel to the team on how many are rappelling up, how many are near the walk-in, how many are in the bathroom. A lot of versatility available to this player below. Of course, you'll need to be mindful. Could get hunted down by Worthy and the E1D charges, as well as some of the entries. But so far, Elevate are focusing their efforts on the balcony and looking to maybe clear the bedroom, clear bathroom quite methodically. And of course, actually try and hit the site.
And this is also where scoreboard pressure plays a factor as well. If you're Elevate, you know you lose this round and you can't get all 3 points. It's just not a possibility anymore. At best, it would be 2. Drex is going to go for the C4. He's going to be off the mark there. It's missing completely. Not even close in the end. You don't get many opportunities as well. There's a lot of C4s being thrown out. There's only like 1 or 2 left.
Oh, Drex. Shooting up through the floor. Not sure if that's to maybe prep a C4, if he was actually a real chance of hitting a player on the window, but either way, doesn't find anything. When will the C4s start flying out, though? I mean, we've already had actually all 3 burnt. In fact, there's only 1 left. Ooh.
Well, there's one that's placed, I think, and there's one that's in hand for Ghoul. That's what I'm kind of getting at here with the 1-1 in the top left there for the utility. Would suggest that there's 1 placed and 1 in the back pocket for Ghoul. Considering we had quite a few C4s in hand for Rhythm this round. And now they're both gone.
A little bit disappointing there for Rhythm, and Drex now getting lit up. Does retaliate though. Digital taken down. Drex can play safe side of Mem. But all of this vert increasingly dangerous for the defense to deal with as we see some players rotate out. I believe Fisho has the diffuser. He does. He'll enter in towards laundry and maybe try to get the plant down inside of dining.
Not much time left in this round. 20 seconds left. Pressure's on what feels like almost for both teams here. Final EE1D is going to go out. It's going to allow Gold Legion to get the kill onto Goal. Vast as well can push in through Kitchen freely, but Leb swings out. He hasn't found many frags, but he just quickly gets 2. Almost got 3, but did enough. You would think down. Maybe for this round, because that diffuse is down, Leb did enough to win it. In all intents and purposes, Rhythm win the round of AX was almost killed. If there had been 1 more second, Gus, just 1 more second, he probably dies, and they probably lose the round.
Wow, in the midst of all the chaos, I didn't quite catch how that kit got dropped. But it was. And Rhythm, they secure at least 1 point in this matchup. Huge round for them. And Elevate now staring down the barrel of 2 losses in a row to arguably the 2 weakest teams in the league. That is very, very concerning. Question is, how will they bounce back? 2 rounds need to be won to head it into OT. They'll be attacking at Trophy and Stat. Did win it last time, so at least they have a little bit of form.
Points secured. Season-defining game here. Rhythm have a mixed bag of playdays to come after this. They've got a top team in Knights, and they've got arguably the weakest team in LFO. There's a very real possibility you win this match point, you go to 8. If you can then beat LFO, you go to 11. Is 11 enough to secure top 5? Remains to be seen, guys, but I would much rather be on 11 than say 8 when it comes to that time of the season. Huge opportunity. For Elevate, they would be stuck on 8 points with, you know, 2 rather tough play days, right? They've got Order after this, and then they've got Wildcard. Does their season crumble in the final 3 play days? Or do they persevere and break through?
Time will tell. We'll focus though. Of course, on this round is a trophy defense where we're seeing Drex quite aggressive inside of Model and Leb as well. Down Classical, trying to deny some of these drones who are trying to gather intel for the likes of God, Legion, and Vast on the entry. They are being denied though. Only 7 left. Vast confident on the peak. There is a player at the top of Red Stairs who will scatter away as more ground gets taken. Another drone. Oh, Vast, that is very sharp. Drex going 9 and 8, but will take no further part this round.
Yeah, and Drex has been a big player so far, having some big moments for Rhythm. There's a chance now for Elevate. Will they capitalize? I haven't necessarily been overwhelmingly bad or anything either, by the way. This has just been a really good showing from Rhythm. You know, especially when you look at the right side. If you look at Elevate's KDAs, they don't even look that bad. They've all had some good moments. They've all been playing relatively well as individuals, but I feel like as a team, they've probably let themselves down a bit. But there's still a way back in here. There's still 2 points on offer if they can climb back. We've seen them do it a couple of times throughout the last month or so. God Legion going to get some information at least. And there's still a lot of time in this round. So surely Elevate can come up big and send this to 6-5.
Yeah, a lot of time, and they have a good foothold over towards top red. Vast confidently swings in. Bulletproof camera doesn't get taken down, so they should have intel on the cross, but they're getting overwhelmed. They're getting fragged out. It's just no Vakes. And Leb left to retake the 2-on-5.
Fortunately for Rhythm, they will still have match point after this. It's not a given. Fuser goes down. Leb came up pretty big in the last round. He would have to go even more nuclear in this round to save Rhythm. He's down. It's only the Vax and 1 versus 4. And Fisher Guy will close it out with a double. 6-5. It's still match point for Rhythm, but Elevate are coming home strong to send it to OT.
Good little execute there from Elevate. Clinical, really. They just overwhelmed the site. They sent it in the pockets of the site that they knew were clear. And it was too difficult for Rhythm to retake. Heading back to AVG now. Line still being stuck here from Elevate. They believe it to be working. Always difficult, I guess, to track just how effective it really is, but I'd say it is having the desired effect of locking down players at times where they seem to be focusing their efforts on them, and that's really what you want to be doing.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Who's going to stand up play when it matters the most? Who's going to make the big plays? How does Elevate themselves play this? Do they look to get aggressive? Do they look to get on the front foot, look to find that early pick? the rhythm allow them to have an early pick, but if they play aggressive, they turtle on site. So many different ways you can sort of play this. So many different ways that it can play out. The standings themselves are going to change dramatically off the back of just this one round, Guz. Goes from 3 points and suddenly 3 points is gone and two teams get 1 point. This the amount of direction that the standings changes off this one round is just fascinating. That's why I love this season and the system that's in place.
Supremacist, he's a long way away from site. Looking to maybe catch a player off guard towards kitchen, but Vasta
Quick.
God Legion. They might just send it up the stairs here alongside the E1D. Go though,
no.
Leb as well. It's falling apart here for Elevate. Rhythm, that 4-3 advantage.
Pushed in with the E1D. They didn't quite come out successfully. Fortunately, Vast did at least get one at the end there. So 4 versus 3, not impossible. They've also got control of main stairs now as well, pretty quickly and very early on. So they can now start to look elsewhere to clear this site out. But if your Rhythm does, surely you're just not peeking anything. You've got the advantage. You don't really have to do anything but play defensive from here on out.
Of course, it is tricky in these scenarios that you don't turtle too much to the point that you suffocate yourself. But I think you framed it well. No need to overpeak. Don't give away anything for free here. And if you do want to get aggressive, make sure it's being calmed. Make sure you're able to be traded. Oh, that elbow's visible.
You can see it.
Oh,
He's just
he
trying to
hits it.
That man
He just
just
gives
lost
no
an elbow.
thanks, a little bit of a love tap on the elbow and says, please don't peek me.
I wonder if that E1D was a bait, expecting the player in front to swing, expecting to push. Fisher guy held the angle the entire time, gets the headshot. Oh, how quickly things can change. Vast over at landing gets Ghoul. And suddenly the advantage that Rhythm had has now evaporated. They're down a player. It's 3 versus 2. Supremacist on site. Drex is going to get Fisher guy. This match point is going to go right down to the wire. Drex taken out by Worthy. Supremacist against a very low Worthy and close to half health Vast. With a minute left, they're going to stick to plant. He's going to have 40 seconds or so for the retake, unless the C falls huge. It's not. It falls short. It did actually stop the diffuser momentarily, and Supremacist's position, though, an Aviator now has been given away. He will push into Vault, and he knows he's got a big task ahead of him. If they are to secure all 3 points, he needs to clutch up here in the 1 versus 2.
But he can't. Elevate will close out a very close round. OT, baby. Woo!
Well, that's 1 point each now. Secured a point on the board for Elevate, gets them to 9 points. I haven't quite done the maths. I'd like to maybe at some point to see sort of the numerical amount that you need to secure top 5 going into the last 2 play days. But I would imagine, guys, surely double-digit points could be enough. If it's not, it's damn near close. 10 to 12 points surely should be about the mark. I think 12 points roughly should be good for top 5. So you're getting an edging closer to that figure. If Elevate win out here in overtime, they go to all 10 points already, which would actually put them back into first place over Team Bliss.
Really does feel like Rhythm are the experts in overtime, at least more broadly last year. They would have been massive benefactors from earning points in overtime simply because they lost so many games that went into overtime. It was quite tragic to watch. So they're no strangers
5 seconds to go.
to this kind of scenario, but of course, neither of these teams want to settle for just the 1 point. They'll be pushing as hard as possible for the 2, as those margins are so close as the season comes to a close.
And that's the thing. That's the thing, right? It's not like you get to OT and then you breathe a sigh of relief and say, right, job done. We've got a point. We can call it a day. Like, you got to fight hard to now get that second point. And it doesn't seem like much, right? You'd think, because you're almost just looking at it as 1 point, because you just secured 1, right? You already got 1 in the bag. You're not fighting for 2. You're fighting for 1. But the one that you got by sending it to OT, then the one that you're going to get for winning OT, that's 2 points. That's a lot, and that's worth fighting and grinding it for.
Leb down below does have a C4 in pocket. I have an inkling. I just have a feeling that something special could happen in this round with that Nitro cell. Of course, I don't want to cast a curse him, so we'll wait and see. Elevate. Seemingly not interested in clearing kitchen, and that, of course, does make
Attackers
sense.
have located a bomb.
Big time bleed. But Leb, of course, can use that to his advantage. Just poke and prod. See what he can see.
So far, it's the attackers that have had more success here on Villa. Elevate on the attack, first up here in overtime. Probably sets the precedent for the overtime, right? I mentioned it before in our previous overtime that happened tonight, which was Bliss Rafflecopter. We see a lot more 8-6 than we ever really see 8-7. Very important to be winning
Leb.
the opening round in OT. Leb got one onto Godledge and was looking for a second onto Bast. E1D will try and shut that down. Still one available in the back pocket for Worthy. Vast knows exactly where he is, and Fisher Guy will pinch him from behind. But Vast got pinched himself at the exact same time by Supremacist Guys.
Supremacist having what feels like an impactful performance despite going 6 and 11. It feels like he's doing a whole lot better than that. But either way, 3 versus 3 as Digital finds one with the SMG 11. Digital as well going quite big in this round, and on the map as a whole. So there's 2 nades in the pocket as well. Keep an eye out for those as Supremacist gets his second in the round. Fisho and Didge. And they create something special in this round to give their team the edge.
I think they can here. The Vex is quite low on the Wamai. Down to just Ghoul and Supremacist. I was going to say Ghoul and Leb because of his name. But Fisher Guy catches out Supremacist. That's going to help a lot. Ghoul has to win this one just to his left. Goes early, pushes back into the vault. Fisher Guy going to go for the plant. Ghoul's going to just now try and push out and swing. That should be getting watched though, but he just shuts it down. He's got the shield there as well that he can fall back to. Digital has to be watching that crossfire better. He allowed Ghoul to just swing out of vault, stop the defuse, get behind the shield. There was not much else then Digital could do from that. What a swing from Ghoul and a way to win that round for Rhythm and give them a very crucial overtime match point in what feels like almost like a 90% chance that the team that goes 7-6 will win the next round.
Oh, that's tragic there from Didge. His position was great, but that window of opportunity to hit the frag on the swinging defender is so small, and he narrowly missed that frag, and it cost his team the round in the end. Fortunate there from Elevate. As we have a tack pause, I presume. Wonder who took that. It was Elevate. Probably the right decision, I would say. Off the back of a loss in OT, just recuperate a little bit, really think about what you're going to do on this defensive round. What are you going to do on trophy?
When they come for you, bad boys. Bad what? Sorry. Yeah, you kind of set me up there. I had to just...
We're in 7. It's 7-6, I know, because we're meant to be
I know.
serious. No jokes, please.
Yeah, and you're also meant to start the game already, all right? Bloody casters. Why are you taking a pause, guys? Why are you pausing the game?
My red button's broken. My red button's broken. That's why we had to keep pausing in the first match. We had to get it fixed. And it's still playing up a bit, but we'll get that looked in. Don't worry.
Yeah, look, I mean, I've said it multiple times, but Elevate need to sort of buck the trend here that we're seeing, not just in OCN, but also APAC South as well, right? The team that goes 7-6, most of the time, will go 8-6. Don't see many 8-7s. So Elevate are up against the ropes. They are feeling like one punch away from being knocked out here. At 1 point, it's something could still help their season later on down the track, depending on other results. You know, they might, if they finish in 4th or 5th by 1 point, you look at moments like this being able to force the OT down 6-4. That's something, but they should be winning these matches, right? Like, there's the point system, and then there's also just the general winning and losing against certain teams. And this would also mean 2 losses in a row for Elevate, and the inconsistency issues continue to plague them, and not being able to beat opponents they should be beating. So it's same old Elevate, and have they really improved? then I feel like the answer is no. That just got
Yeah,
really hostile very quickly.
Yeah, you look back at last week in the LFO result, and you can kind of justify that. It's a little bit of a bogey team for them, but Rhythm really shouldn't be. Like, no disrespect to Rhythm, but they're definitely not one of the, I would believe, stronger teams in the league. They're definitely not bad, but Elevate, they just have a lot more experience and pedigree and the accolades to back that up as well.
Bomb
So
located by attackers.
you would pencil this in. I mean, we all did pencil this in as a win. That said, Rhythm have put in a mighty effort, gotten it to OT. Question will be, does Elevate's experience help them get this over the edge?
It's interesting. We spoke about Bliss prior and their ability to go OT. Rhythm have called the same amount of overtimes now as Bliss. There's actually been a fair chunk of overtimes this season of OCN, and I guess that's highlighted by how close the standings are, that the competition itself is extraordinarily close, closer than last season, it feels like. Just sweepingly across the board, so many overtimes and so many sort of upsets, and teams that aren't considered viable chances at winning. As you mentioned, Elevate should be winning, but now down at the moment, need to win the next 2 rounds or it's over. Godly, Chen, hello. He's found 2 very quick ones onto Drax and Supremacist. That will help things immensely. Almost like the pressure valve has just been released, but they've still got to close it out. We've seen teams capable of coming back from 3 versus 5.
Lab trying to hunt God Legion down.
Bye-bye.
Won't win this. Surely not. Doesn't.
Good angle.
It's 3 from God Legion. He's been the star of this round. And in
He's
fact,
been the star
for
of
his
this
team,
game.
yeah, 14 and 8. So Vax and Ghoul left to clutch up, but I think it's probably safe to say this round is done and dusted, and we will go all the way.
I will say, actually, another Xenox fun fact, the only team that has won an 8-7 this season of OCN was Rhythm. Can you believe it? It's the only 8-7 game that we've had, which was Rhythm versus Wildcard in Playday 3, and Rhythm won that. Will they be able to strike twice? Because this is going to have to be an 8-7 victory for one of these 2 teams, unless Vax has won for the ages here. It would be an instant classic, and it's not going to happen maybe in another parallel universe.
Big round there from Elevate. We're going the full 15. Things you love to see. Might need a coffee after this game, I'm not going to lie. It's getting pretty late. As I said, the Easter food coma's still ringing well and true, but it's time to focus in now. The last round between these 2, and Dining Kitchen will be the battleground. Frost, Mozzie, Malusi, Goyo, Mute. A couple of very spicy operators in it. Come on, Drex, stick it. No! Boo. Bit sad. Wouldn't have minded seeing a bit of Frost action.
The pulse makes more sense here though anyway, though.
Yeah, but
The big thing for me is switching off the Lion. It's actually been very successful for Elevate so far on their attacks. And speaking of attacks, they will get to attack this overtime match point. They shift off the Lion, and now they can't rely on that just for what? The air jabs and the extra flank watch, expecting the roam from Rhythm, but then lessens their attack a little bit. So it's kind of like a catch-22. Yeah, you'll be a bit better on the flanks, but your attacks won't be as aggressive.
I don't think it's the worst option. We've seen players. Leb is one that comes to mind. That
I'm not
has
saying
been
it's
lurking
bad.
around
I didn't say it's
spaces.
good or bad.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's a thing.
Yeah. I was not saying
Yes, you
yay or
were.
nay. No.
Always judging me.
The only time I judge you is when you're mold and raked and don't say anything.
No,
That's the only time.
I'll give you that one.
But yeah, Worthy, I don't think it's the worst pick in the world, especially considering Leb has been roaming the very bottom, very basement of Villa. Sort of the graveyard of this map, if you would. Doesn't see any play outside of the occasional defensive flank. We'll have to see if that rings true, though, as once again, we see Drex posted up inside of Dining, gaining this intel for his team. He can call out how many players are repelling, how many will be going above.
Oh, is
and
he
that
gonna
will give an
go for the
indication
layout?
as to how much vertical pressure there'll be. I think that's probably a little bit ambitious considering the one
We saw
second layout.
Worthy do it earlier, didn't we, from that exact position?
No, that was above. That was above and above.
Okay.
A little less spicy, I guess.
Still a similar thought process, I guess, but yeah, you're right. The other thing I was going to mention, though, is, of course, that the attacking team has been better on Villa so far. So I guess maybe trading out the Lion for the Nomad's fine because, for the most part, we are seeing the attacking teams have quite a bit of success. So just almost like a safety blanket, I guess, if you will. Elevate going to start to go for that top-down approach. Have seen a lot of horizontal play. That's been denied.
Got muted, and then Drex from below had the intel where it was placed and shot it. Bit cheeky.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Oh, what? That was ambitious there from Novex, the C4
Yeah.
trying to lob it through the hatch.
I
Doesn't
don't even
quite-
know if that would have got that far down from that distance.
Yeah, it was a bit of a odd angle. Would have been pretty tough. Maybe if there was a player situated up on the little boxes there, maybe, but that's pretty rare. Meanwhile, though, minute 20 left in the round, and Elevate.
It's just stagnating a bit.
Yeah, they're trying to ship up for something. I'm just trying to work it out. Digital might be able to make a play here. Pantry wall being open there. Fisher from outside the window. Ejected those ex-Kairos onto the wall. They detonate, and Digital has a nice little line of sight, a nice little cross. He's mindful of the flank, but he doesn't hit the
Leb.
shot again. Digital misses a critical pick. Leb on the flank, still running riot. And Rhythm now have the 5-3 man advantage.
They've traded places. Digital started this game so well. Leb couldn't get involved in anything, couldn't make his mark. But as the game has gone to OT, Leb has stood up. Digital's gone a bit quiet and talk about trading places. 5 versus 2. Rhythm are just owning this final round. Vast is gone as well. Just one by one, they fall. Elevate haven't even fired a shot, it feels like. Rhythm have just destroyed them as Elevate capitulate. They're going to lose this game. Massive win for Rhythm. Their season is alive. They go to 7 points. They're out of the bottom 3. And for Elevate, it's 2 Playday losses in a row. What's happening? Hardball victory. Can you feel the rhythm?
I'm feeling the rhythm. There's a bit of an intense rhythm at the end there. The heart was beating for us, and I'm sure it was the same for the players in the lobby as well. But Rhythm, they escape with 2 points in the end. Maybe escape isn't the best word to use. I would say they thoroughly deserved it. They played very, very well.
They were ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be happy.
Yeah. Look, I feel like their logo is all of like 1 pixel there on the background of the awesome victory screen. 8-7. They have now won both 8-7s that have happened here this season for OCN. Big credit to Rhythm. A much deserved victory. You know, you say escape because I say holding on or something, because they were the ones in front. They were the ones for the most part leading. They had the original match point. They were up 6-4. They got their first secured point earlier than we saw from Elevate. So full credit to Rhythm. I can feel the rhythm. They're out of the bottom 3 as well. That puts Knights, by the way, second last. Can you believe it? Of course, they've got a game to play tonight, but just the fact that that's even a thing is kind of crazy. All eyes on this matchup, though, and from the get-go, it was Rhythm. They set the tone on the attack.
Yeah, they did. And then when it came to push to shove at the very end, they rained out on top. I thought that maybe Elevate with that additional experience would be able to just edge out, but it really just was not the case. It was a massive final round there from Rhythm as they closed things out. A lot of highlight plays throughout, and as we sort of said a couple of times, it felt like at almost every stage, every single player stepped up. It never felt like anyone was really getting dragged along. There might have been a couple of occasions where some of the players in the lobby felt like they couldn't quite get into the match. But like I said, literally almost every player had a highlight play. So very entertaining to watch, and I'm sure Rhythm, like I said, will be happy with the result.
We've praised Rhythm, rightly so, but for Elevate, it's a second Playday loss in a row. Their great start to stage number 1 in both APAC and OCN is crumbling. They slowly, week by week, guys, are almost reverting back to their old inconsistent self, unable to pick up wins that they should be winning. It's almost like the same old tune, and you start to wonder, has anything really changed?
Yeah, definitely concerning. It's a red flag if you're losing to both Alpha and Rhythm, 2 teams that we're not expecting to be massive threats in this league. I mean, happy to be proven wrong, and that might be the case, but I'm sure Elevate will not be overly content with the result. They do fortunately escape with at least 1 point, and that could have big ramifications later in the season, particularly if they do find themselves on the edge of the top 5. But look, I don't think that will necessarily be the case, but they also do have Order and Wildcard next, and if they play like this against those two, that could be a bit yucky.
But, and it's a big but, Elevate are a team that played to their opponents. So, and we've seen it time and time again, right? They have a strong, and not that, like, and I hate saying it because Rhythm's a really good team. I rate them, and they're not in the bottom 3 anymore, right? So they're doing something right. But for whatever reason, I feel like whenever Elevate play against Order or Wildcard Knights, they do step up a bit, right? And we do see sort of their best and what they can really bring to the table and what they should be doing, you know, on a regular basis. But for whatever reason, we don't see it against teams like LFO and teams like Rhythm. And I think that's just sort of the downfall of Elevate right now. But full credit to Rhythm. They capitalize on it and they get out of the bottom 3. Their season's alive. And they're a team that, you know, would be worthy to have a nice strong org backing them.
Yeah, if you're an org out there, get signing. Who knows what the future could hold for these boys. I mean, maybe in a couple months we'll be talking about them being a serious threat of being promoted to APAC South. Who knows?
Let's go and have a look at our interview for this game. I don't know why I said have a look. We are going to technically have a look. Supremacists coming in for a quick little chat. Should be pretty happy with that performance, mate. Congratulations. Out of the bottom 3. You pick up a good win against a solid side in Elevate as well. Just give us, I guess, maybe a quick recap of your thoughts and how that all sort of played out.
You know, it's honestly really good that we actually beat this team today. We really needed this win since losing to Bliss last week. So we knew coming into this that we needed it. And then, you know, going into being the rounds, we almost had the 3 points, man. It just slipped away. You know, I came into 1v2 and couldn't quite get it, but that's quite unfortunate. But honestly, once we got our team, man, we're pretty excited and just glad that we got 2 points, to be completely honest.
Yeah, let's talk about OT for a little bit. You guys aren't strangers to overtime. What's it sort of like being in that position? Just how intense really is it? And how do you boys, I guess, manage to edge out one of the better teams in the region?
Like OT is nothing new to us at this point now, right? We don't even have a single 3-point win. Every game has basically gone OT, so we're used to it at this point, to be completely honest. Like, there's no, like, every time we're like, yeah, here again, let's go again, and like, it is what it is. And like, you know what, like, it's, yeah, I think the nerves with the boys is fine. I think we honestly deal with it really well. That's why we can come out with these OT wins better than most teams, I'd say, at this point.
Yeah, except for maybe Bliss, because you guys and Bliss are the only 2 teams that have gone OT, Playdays 2, 3, 4, and now 5. Both of you actually didn't play OT, Playday 1. What does it say, though? I almost asked this exact same question for Bliss, but what does it say about you guys as a team that, you know, regardless of your opponent, right, you're always getting to these overtime situations, sometimes picking up the wins, sometimes not picking up the wins, but for the most part, you're stacking up very well against this competition in OCN. Is that just such a good feeling that you're not, you know, say second last and you're just getting swept aside? Like, you're in every game against every opponent.
Yeah, no, I mean, it feels great, right? Because obviously the boys last OCN season, I think it was just, you know, they just got into OT so many times but couldn't quite close it out. And it's kind of the same thing, but it feels great for those guys especially to just finally close these games out and actually compete against these higher teams that are actually, you know, really good at the game and really do put up a really great fight. And just, you know, it honestly, like, it just feels really good, to be completely honest, man. I really have no other words for it.
Cool. I mean, we could actually, let's talk about next week, right? You've got the Knights. Arguably, they're not in the best form here in OCN, and I'd say they're a similar pedigree to Elevate, so there shouldn't be any reason why you guys can't take them down next week, eh?
I mean, I'm not going to say anything yet because the last time, you know, when me and Odo were getting at it, I didn't want to say if we're going to win or lose because I don't know. I really feel like we're going to bring it to Knights as we have been with every other team because we really want these games. We really want to make top 5 to make playoffs. It's just our one goal right now to make these playoffs and prove to everybody else that we can do this and that we're here and we want it. So.
Well, it definitely feels like your destiny or your fate, however you want to sort of coin it, is in your hands, right? You kind of get a free punch at Knights, and then obviously you got a game against LFO, who are kind of struggling a little bit at the moment, but of course still a team you don't want to take too lightly. So, you know, you do well in those games and you guys most likely make top 5, right? That's just the way it goes. So best of luck in those games, mate, for the final 2 play days, and hopefully you guys can finish the season strong.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Good player, with a good future. Yeah, Supremacist is one to watch for by end of year. by end of year, the more game time he has in OCN, I'm telling you, the kid's cracked. Had some good moments early on. Went a little quiet as the sort of match went on. I think you even said it at one point. You kind of looked at his stats and you thought, based on some of his impact plays, would have had a higher KDA. But sometimes, you know, you have low KDA, but you have like 2 or 3 big impact moments that get those round wins. And sometimes that's actually worth more than, say, you know, getting some cheeky kills that don't really mean anything because you've either won the round or the round has already been lost.
Yeah, Supremacist just seemed like a dope dude. I'm not gonna lie, he just seemed pretty chill,
Yeah.
you know, laid back, having a bit of fun. I love that him and his team have some ambition. They want to go for top 5. They're sick of being the team that's just hanging on by a thread, and it's awesome to see that they're taking it up to almost every team. As you framed it, they literally put up a fight against every single team. I don't see any reason why that shouldn't slow down, and top 5 is looking honestly quite likely for them now.
And a big test as well against Knights, right? And they've got form going into the match. So that's one that I absolutely can't wait to watch, right? You know, so sort of David versus Goliath sort of matchup for next week. Of course, though, we've still got 2 matches to be played tonight. Order and LFO, Wildcard versus Knights. Don't go anywhere. We're only halfway through this night. Can you believe it?